that a nation of 230 going to 350 million people are in democracy, and the majority of our citizens, not you, you are the privileged ones who can at least eat. Even if Nagari you drink with fish, you don't chop. The vast majority cannot eat well. Does it not concern you? Does it not concern you that we claim to be in a democracy? We have 93 million registered voters as at the last count. About 80-something million collected this PVC. Does it not concern you that on the day of the election, you can't find them? Does that mean that we are a nation of people who do not understand their civic responsibility in helping us to decide who the leaders will be? The last election, barely 24 million turned up. Of that 24 million, the president, I greet you to President Bola Tinubu, barely got 8-something million votes. Do you know what that really means? It means that notwithstanding all the suffering to bring us into democracy, when they call us to come and take a decision, being that we are a nation of complainers, Obasanjo is not good, we don't want him. Yar'Adua is not good, we don't want him. Jonathan is not good, we don't want him. Buhari is not good, we don't want him. Bola Tinubu is not good, we don't want him. When you are called upon to come and decide who you want, are you not worried that the vast majority of our people don't show up? That's one of the reasons why we're here. So we can think about the solution together. The second one, let us not deceive ourselves. Nobody on earth, apart from us, the Nigerians ourselves, will make this country great according to how we ourselves decide. You know, greatness is relative. Some people, if they just buy, in fact, ordinary Okada, second hand, they'll do Thanksgiving service. Because the big thing that they've not done for, maybe one day the only thing they have is a bicycle. Another person that same day will bring Kekere-Ekun, big Thanksgiving. Another will buy car, another will buy plane. The point I'm making is that in the journey of nations, the citizens themselves have a duty to determine what really is the greatness we are even chasing. Now tell me, how can you do that when we are in democracy and every vote must be purchased? So it means that if my sister there, the one in blue, if her people say she's a good material for election, and you know she can serve you, the first burden she's going to have is, where will she get the money to come and bribe you? Now, if we continue like that, yes, what's going to happen? Those of them who manage to struggle, claiming they are serving us, and we can see that by their so-called service, they are now the owners of the biggest houses in town. Their children are the most brilliant in town. Their wives are the best women in town. And it is them now that have all the money as if they are the inheritors of Solomon. Is this how we are going to continue? Of course, if we don't have this alternative conversation with ourselves, we will be stopped there. Because shishi, we don't have. But we have plenty. We can wake ourselves up into a national consciousness and go to our villages, our cousins, everywhere we have influence, and tell them, Shana, like this, we could go. Second reason. The third reason, please, is it that we have agreed that the only thing we'll be calling Nigerians is that an Ikwere man will be fighting an Okpobo man. An Okpobo man will not want to see Igbo. Igbo will not want to see Yoruba. Yoruba will not want to see Hausa. What kind of madness is this going on before our eyes? Those who are in charge of our country are so careless. They don't understand that if you don't manage the rhetorics of tribalism and nepotism in the country. Before you will have problem, you will think it's not going to ever come. We need to now call ourselves together and say, gentlemen, Nigerians, we all demanded and struggled for this democracy together. Those who joined Nigeria together in 1914, they did not take special permission from anybody. Whatever they did to the kings in the north, they did worse to southern kings until they shall force themselves here. You know the story. I don't need to be telling you about Jaja Mokobo, Overami of Benin. I don't need to tell you the story. You know it, even if your children don't know it. Now that we are all in democracy, what are we going to gain if we don't start telling people? My friend, if Segun offends you, whether on the internet or wherever you want to talk about it, call it Segun. Don't call it Yoruba people have offended, because it's only one person that offended you. If you have a problem with Bola Tinubu, the president of the country, say, I have a problem with President Bola Tinubu, president of the country. You can't have a problem with the whole Yorubas. I have come here and I have paid obedience to Governor Wike. Am I going to say, oh, if I have an issue with him, it's not Governor Wike that I have issue with. I have issue with the whole of Rivers. Does that thinking make sense? We cannot afford to destroy our country. Reason number 3. Okay, reason number 4, which is even more urgent for you party leaders. Is democracy a system of government that means that the only people that are clever, the only people that love the country are the ones in government? What then will be the role of opposition when some people are in government for the time being? After all, the PDP was in government for 16 years. Those of you who are aware of the history, some of your leaders boasted that they will even be in charge for the next 60 years. They couldn't even get to 16. They dropped off. What have you seen in the pattern of even these ones, these APC people, that tells you they can sustain it for a long time? So what are we supposed to be doing? Can we assume in error that every man is going to have to create a political party in his own image? We have 18 political parties, and yet it is as if the 17 of, or maybe if you like, 16 of them are neither here nor there. Councillorship election, for them to even be able to rally and get the people voting, we won't be able to achieve it. Now we are looking at 2027 before us. Shall we not come together and ask ourselves, first thing, let us even find the leader we want. They have been bringing us leaders. Those leaders have not satisfied the people. Okay, the alternative, we have come now to say, you people, go and help us find the leaders. You know yourselves, you know your leaders. You know the people in your area. Forget about whether he has money or he doesn't have money. Forget about whether he's in party A or party B. We are in search of a good leader to lead Nigeria. When we find it, when you find them, you bring them forward. We will use the platform of the alternative to profile these leaders. If not Senate, if not Rep, if not National Assembly, if not Governor. We will ask them the right questions before we say, okay, everything considered, it looks like this man can try for the people. Then we'll go and market him. Our prayer and our hope is that the legacy party, let me just call them so, will get their act together and display to the Nigerian people that they understand that for political parties to come and stand for election, they have to worry about 2 things. The first one, are the people not going to review the ruling party based on its programs? Or have we accepted that a party that may or may not be doing the right thing is automatically qualified to be reinforcing their failure? So we will review them together. Okay. Opposition, Have we accepted that people that are not even half as good as incumbents, who have not done anything, said anything, discussed any issue, interested in any idea, will just because they are doing musical chair with power in the country, begin to disturb everybody that it must be there. And then when they lose the election, rather than accept that they've lost, they will now subject Nigeria to a constant barrage of mismanagement of information, making the country toxic for the citizen. When you go about in a nation, or you allow leaders to go about in a nation, only talking about bad things in that country, shall you not remember that the tongue is supposed to profess goodness for a nation? We are people of the books. Where did you find inside those books that they said God has given us an assignment to just perpetually hate our country? When other countries are dealing with shege, I've never opened the internet to see people from Ukraine abusing their country, and they are in war. Neither have I ever seen the Russians abusing their country, and they are in war. Should I be wasting my saliva on the Israelis and the Middle East? So we have to, even the Americans. So we have to know that we too are citizens of Nigeria. Political affiliation or no political affiliation, we owe it a duty to see our country as our own and begin to wish our country well, be pushing it in the right direction. When it is time for elections, if we have begged our people not to give up in democracy, if we have sensitized them on the importance of their vote, if we have told them about their social responsibility and civic responsibility to come out and help us decide who they want, we would have done our duty. Because clearly, we cannot continue the way we have been going. Therefore, we will not accept a situation where the children of the, if you like, not so rich, but if you like, the poor, will become so irrelevant in the Nigerian scheme of things to such a level that it's only rich men's children that will be living and working in this country. Do you know what the promise of democracy is at all? We could have left it in a monarchy so that the man that is king, his son that he gave birth to by himself, can be the successor of his father, if that is what we want. We could have left it with military, better trained men, who will say, okay, my way is the only way. You don't even have the right, you don't have opportunity. If you talk too much, you will see shaking. But we all agree that we should do government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Then, don't you think it makes sense that we re-engage the people? We re-engage ourselves. We talk to ourselves so that those of you that are here, you can be the champions of the alternative way of thinking, alternative way of doing things. And when we get to the bridge of which party, because there are no independent candidacy, you have seen them, there is no big deal in accepting that these people seem like they are more sensible than these people. And then we will all together come together and say this is the direction. Opposition parties too, they don't have the privilege to sit down and do nothing. They must be reforming themselves. They must be speaking to the issues, not just criticizing for criticizing's sake. We must be coming up with alternative ideas, alternative plans, alternative way of doing things. And that is why we called it the alternative. It is a pan-Nigerian opposition movement. It does not mean even members of the ruling party who are not happy with what they are doing cannot be part of this. It just simply means that at least these people are the presidency. Some other people need to be the alternative so that the conversation about how we can make our country great can be a conversation that belongs to all of us. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we used to know Port Harcourt as the most beautiful garden city. Remember that's what they used to call Port Harcourt. For some times now, the rhetoric coming from this place is too hard. You can't reduce a beautiful people with a rich and thriving culture into that type of thing. So, but you are the only ones who are the people who can tell them, "Oga, enough. Day your day, make I day mine." Nobody do it. Nobody worry, nobody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Segun Sowunmi. I wish you well.
Please, let's celebrate this